I was just thinking as I was walking to work, do you think that your fastest and best days are behind you as you've become older as an endurance runner? If so, you're not alone. That was me. And I've got a story just wanted to share just while I was walking to work. I was just thinking about it. That will give you perhaps pause for thought, and maybe you can change your perspective on it, because we're all going to get older. That's a fact, and we're ultimately all going to get slower. But how that happens can be different. It's the joke I give is the two people jumped out of a plane, and one's got a parachute and one hasn't. Both people hit the ground, but one hits the ground in a lot different shape than the other. And that's kind of, the perspective I have as I get older as an endurance runner. It's, I'm going to get older. I'm going to get slower. But how's that going to happen? How am I going to happen? And how did I start this journey for me? And how has that kind of really influenced my mentality towards coaching? So it started about when I'm 58 now. When I was about 51, and I've got a hairdressing salon, and I was cutting a friend's hair of mine. He's a really good runner. He's about 20 years younger than me, and he said to me, Lee, I wonder when you consider what your peak was as a runner. And it caught me off guard, because you ever had one of those conversations in your head where you've got like two sides? So the first part of my brain was going, well, let me think, probably my 30s or something like that. But there was another bit of my brain that was going, peak? How dare he peak? But I suppose the rational side of my brain initially took charge, and we chatted, and I said, well, probably my best times were, when I was 30, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, and my friend left the salon, and that was it. He went. But that other side of my brain then sort of started to kind of take over and go, peak. What does he mean, peak? And I was a little bit hurt. Not by his question, but by the fact that at that time, I'd kind of given up. I didn't realise it until he said. I didn't realise that I'd given up. I'd kind of accepted my situation. I thought, one pace running, might get out for slower runs now. That was it. That was going to be the finish for me. And I kind of accepted that. Cool, I'm getting older. I was 52, And then I thought, but what if? What if that I could have some good days in front of me? They may not be as fast as my 30s. Who knows? It does depend as a runner how good your 30s were. But what if it isn't totally downhill? And even if it is a little bit downhill, it might not be, like I said about the parachute analogy, it might not be like that. It might be like that, and it may even be a bit like that. Who knows? And I become curious. And I joined a club. I've never done that before. And I started to look at my running. I started to look at making changes in my running. Because, that saying, if you carry on doing the same thing, you only get the same results. So I made changes in my diet. I'd already stopped drinking. Now, that's not something that everybody has to do, but I did like a drop of wine, perhaps a bit too much. So for me, it's easier, the type of person I am, either to start a thing or stop a thing. I'm not a man of moderation, so I stopped drinking. And I really started to look at changing my training. I did take a coach on. That was one of my steps, which was the best thing I ever did. I'm not here to tell you coaching's for everybody, but it is fundamental for me. because you can't see your own shadow, because no person, however aware of themselves, and I'd like to think I am a quite aware person of my faults as I've got to the old age. It's one of the pluses of getting older, is that you don't know them all. So a coach was fundamental. And, you know, I'm now getting to a point where in my running, yeah, I'm still improving. Is that going to be the same for everybody? No, it's not. You know, some people have been such good runners in their younger years. They may not hit the highs of their 20s and 30s, but doesn't mean that you can't have some great days. And you can't always help getting older, but you can help becoming an old runner. You can still have some great days in front of you. And I just thought I'd share this story because fundamental for me how I got back into running in my 50s and got into coaching in my 50s, and loudest fan in the world. So I just thought I'd share that. So if you're a runner and you're older and you're starting to think, yeah, just jog these last couple of years out, you know, don't do that to yourself. You've possibly got more in you than you sort of think. And if you are that runner and you're thinking, but I might need somebody to help me with that, I don't want to have to reinvent the wheel. I don't want to have to think of everything myself and spend valuable time and resources with trial and error. Then, you know, depending on where you're watching this video, give me a message and we could talk and see if I would be a good fit to help you with your coaching, because I just love helping older endurance runners be really able to surprise themselves, you know. That's what's the great thing, is the surprise that there is that still in the tank they might have never seen before. Anyway, have a great day. I'm going to go before another loud car.